I call this meeting to order at 2:05 p.m. Roll call.
Okay. Alpha, Gamma, Sigma. Astronomy Club. Automotive Club. Beta, Theta, Omicron, PTK.
Here.
Bits and Bytes Programming Club. BSU, Black Student Union. BMCE Engineering Club. Ceramics Club. Chinese Student Scholar Association.
Yes.
Classical Music Club. Cosmetology Club. Dance Honor Society. ENACTUS.
Enactus.
Enactus. Okay. Engineering and Robotics Club. Environmental Club.
Yeah, I'm here.
Filipino Student Union.
Present.
Gospel Show Choir. Honors Club.
Here.
International Student Club.
Here.
InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. Latin American Student Association Organization, LASO. Japanese Culture Link. Journalism Club.
Here.
Kappa Beta Delta.
Here.
Here.
Myanmar Culture Club. Model UN.
Here.
Native American Student Alliance. Nepalese Heritage Club. Open Mic Club. Philosophy Club. Photography Club. Polynesian Club. Respiratory Care Club.
Here.
Science and Research Club. Saga. Skyline, a.k.a.
Here.
Students in Automotive Engineering. Surgical Tech Club. Theater Club. Trio.
Here.
Undocumented Students and Allies. Women in Science and Engineering Represent. And Yoga Club. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now, approval of agenda.
I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda for October 21st, 2020.
Any second?
I second that motion. Trio
Mike.
Club.
Thank you. Approval of minutes. Since this is the first meeting, do we have minutes? Not really, right? Of reports, Vice President. So I'd like to welcome y'all to the first SOCC meeting. It's kind of hard right now, how things are, but we'll make it work. We'll work together. We'll get through this, okay? SOCC liaison.
I just want to say hi. It's nice to see all of you, and I hope you guys are doing well.
Advisory reports. Alvin Cubatina.
Give me a second. Sorry, I was eating lunch. Hello, everybody. What's up? My name is Alvin Gutierrez, and Life and Leadership Manager, Skyline College. If I haven't seen you in hella long, welcome back. We're reconnected again, and just like Jose has said, it took a little bit of time, but we were able to actually find out how to get y'all all into one place. There's still some certain clubs that are not represented here, and we're going to try to do our best to get them here or to get them connected. I just want y'all to keep this in mind that our stock, the way we have known it to be, is not applicable at this moment, right? Since we are in this virtual space. So this meeting, the purpose of this meeting is for y'all as student leaders, as club leaders, to let us know what is or how is the best way for us to support each other and to basically function, right? We will be going over a lot of like the logistical things that are needed in terms of updating your paperwork, because I've known that some clubs have changed advisors and their club members have left, so they have a like new leadership. We need to update a lot of our like paperwork to see who is who, so that we understand who to call to the table, because y'all as student leaders are representing a particular demographic of our students, meaning that y'all are important. So we want to make sure that we have everybody at the table that needs to be there. If you haven't updated your paperwork yet, we will go over that today, so don't trip. We have Ryan and we have Marcy to help with all the paperwork stuff that we've been preparing to share with everybody, right? And what I would love to get from everybody is just to get your opinions and feedback on how to move forward now in the fall and also in the spring. I'm not sure if y'all have heard, but we are virtual until springtime too. So this will shift over, this virtual club meeting, virtual whatever, is going to transfer over to spring. So we really need to start figuring out what that environment would look like, right? As club members, as club leaders, I would love to see your ideas, love to get like partnerships going with the ASSC, just to see how we could still provide a place where folks can find clubs to be a part of, because there is still that need to find a club to be part of a community, and we still want to provide that. And I know some active clubs are still holding events, so we would also want to know too what y'all got planned or want to plan, and see if there's any way that we as ASSC or we as Student Life, me and Ryan, can best support you in making that happen, right? I really want you to start seeing each other, not just as boxes on your screen, but potential connections, so we could still better connect with each other and still find a way to support our community. I just want y'all to know that, yes, it took a while for us to get to where we are today, but like we are here now, and we really want to see how y'all want to make this thing happen, because I still want y'all to still meet. And super sad that like after our last SOCC training that we weren't able to like pull through with that, but I still want to put that on the table for y'all. If leadership training is still something that y'all as club leaders deem as important, please let us know. This meeting, our first meeting, is to make sure how can we get everybody at the table, how can we get updated paperwork, and 3, how can we just keep each other connected, and how we could recreate this virtual community where everybody is still feeling like they're a part of something. All right, so thank you for listening, and yes, back, I think it's to Ryan now.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to use my advisor report to set some house rules down. While this is a super friendly environment and helpful as well, we still have very, very rigid ground rules because funding is attached to the bylaws for SOCC. And so we don't want to break protocol for the Brown Act or for Robert's rules, which are the legal meeting rules in these types of organizations. So the first thing I want to say is that we do have quorum today. There are 53 clubs total at Skyline College, and we have a total of, there's 30 participants in the meeting, but minus 3 advisors would make 27, and that's half plus 1, so we made it. So that means that any voting can be done in this meeting if it's called upon by the chair, which is your vice president. I also want to advise you that this meeting is being recorded so that it can be referred to by other clubs who couldn't make it. In addition, we will not be entertaining random comments or questions until being asked. If you have questions in any specific part of the presentation in which we're giving information, if something's either unclear or not something that is addressed that you're wondering about, instead of typing it in the chat, please hold the question until we ask you if you have any questions. That way it's not missed or ignored. And then I wanted to introduce to you, because I was hoping they'd introduce themselves, but they're so humble that I know they won't. Your new SOC liaison for the 2020-2021 school term is Jazero Obing. Jazero comes to us from the ASC itself. She was serving as a senator, and she's been producing events, and now she is overseeing all the clubs with our vice president, which brings me to my next introduction. Our vice president is Jose Gutierrez. Jose was, in the past semesters, he had served as parliamentarian and senator, and he worked his way all the way up to vice president. So we're very proud of him, and I know that SOC is in good hands. We're going to explain the policies in depth once you get to the presentation area of your meeting. We're also going to explain the barangays, or the groupings, clusters that Alvin and I have created so that clubs are better organized on campus. Meaning, we're not going to ask random clubs to, of course, every club is free to work together, and we encourage that, but we also want to group together the clubs that are like-minded and similar in interests. So all the STEM clubs, all the cultural clubs, all the honor societies, they should be collaborating first and foremost because they have the same purpose or interest, just very subtle differences between each other. So we're going to go over that as well. And then at the very end, we're going to wrap up by having a chance to vote on a new club that is trying to get into SOC, which is the Impact Investment Club. And when we call upon you to ask questions, we're really going to depend on you student voices to make sure and measure if this club is something that brings impactful and intentional programming to your campus community, aka is it worth having them as a new club, and are they doing something different than what other clubs don't do? A little about myself, I've been student life assistant since 2017, and I enjoy working with the clubs and student government. Prior to that, I was instructing in LSKL English class, LSKL 828, and I was a graduate tutor in the Learning Center. So I've been here since I graduated from college in 2014. If you have any questions about our campus community in general, please let me know. And of course, I work for and I'm the assistant for the Student Life Office. We're always working to do more cultural programming. So please let me know if you have any ideas for that as well. Thank you, and I pass it on to my colleague, Marcela Escobar.
Hi guys, hold on, sorry. Hi, my name is Marcy Escobar, or Marcela. Let's see, I've been at Skyline since I believe 2005. So I have about 15 years, only at our campus, which I enjoy. I'm close to home. Let's see, when I applied for this position, I had the option of, there was a couple of positions open in my division. But the key that got me was honestly working with the students. It was like, yeah, it was evening. I think there might have been a day shift, but this is the only position in the cashier's department that gets to work with the clubs and the ASC and the students. So mind you, I do have to work the front window, but yet I'm the only one with this hat on campus. So I really like that opportunity. I like to see all the different activities that go on. So some people wonder sometimes what the heck I do, because I'm the only one, obviously. So unless I'm sharing it with my group, which is under payroll, they're all the money people. They're all the money people on campus. So anything that has to do with your tuition, and not necessarily scholarships, but anything with running the college, that I'm in that division. So welcome. This is a new opportunity for all of us. I'm thankful to be here, and I'm glad I see some recognizable names and faces, and welcome to the new ones that are here with us. We're gonna get through this. Let's do it. Hello.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think it's back to Jose.
Special presentations, overall SOC informational presentations plus Padlet.
All right, yes, sir. That would be me. I will go ahead and share my screen. I just want to let y'all know again. Try to hold the questions, type them down, and get them ready. But I can't stop to address questions as I'll be share screening, and then as well, we may answer it in the presentation itself and throughout the meeting. So we'll call on you guys at the end to ask questions. But yes, can you folks see that? No, not yet, right? Okay, let's see. Here we go. Present. All right. First off, I want to just, traditionally welcome you back. Welcome back, Trojans. This is your first informational meeting for the fall 2020. All of these changes are temporary, so they're only going to hurt for a little bit. You have 3 advisors for SOC. You have myself, Alvin, and Marcy. Alvin, big picture, leadership, training things. Myself, more minor picture things like office space, paperwork, check requisitions. And then you have Marcy, again, back to big, money, finances, club accounts, those types of things. So we each have a different function. If you're ever in doubt and you're emailing us, CC all 3 of us. But again, I would always do like big picture changes, Alvin, paperwork, me, finances, Marcy. That's who it is. So welcome to our presentation. And we're going to be sharing and passing off the torch here and there. Well, first off, I want to talk about the club packet. These changes are set to reflect our semesters being held online, which we know now is fall 2020 and spring 2021. But when you all go back to campus, SOC rules and regulations will go back to how they were in spring 2020. Fillable forms. All our forms are downloadable and fillable PDFs. There's no need anymore for black ink. We were moving out of that anyway because we could not read folks' handwriting anymore. And so L's were looking like E's and R's were looking like I's, and it was just getting too, like it wasn't legible anymore. So I think fillable is the way to go for the future. So no need to print it, scan it, sign it, all those things. Rosters. This is the big one. Clubs no longer need to have a big roster in order to stay active. We're only asking for clubs to have a minimum of 5 active members while we're online. 5 active members. You still need a president. You still need a SOC liaison or SOC representative to attend the SOC meetings, and you still need a treasurer. Those people cannot be the same people. For instance, you can't be the president and the treasurer. You need 2 separate people for that. This has to do with a conflict of interest, right? So this is just good skill set to carry with you to the work world. You never want to mix those things, okay? Alvin or Marcy, did one of you want to take the advisor form? I think Marcy had some stuff to say about this one.
Let's see. So the advisor form, please keep in mind that your advisor must be a full-time permanent employee. So the person should know, and if they don't know, and we see the name that we don't recognize on the form, we will be double checking. So also please keep in mind that it is one advisor that I personally will deal with. I know, Ryan, you can chime in on this, but I will only deal with one president, one treasurer, and one advisor. Some people will have co-advisors. We did try that years and years before, but that would be like Ryan and I having a Halloween club, and he goes off and hires Lehman's Farms to come and bring in hay for the CDC. And I want to do, I don't know, face painting, and I hire a person. And then guess what? The invoices get to me as the bookkeeper, and there's not enough money to cover it. So we've run into that in the past, unfortunately, where the advisors were not speaking to each other and or with the students. So that came to a halt. So again, one advisor, one president, one treasurer, please. I can't really read the rest of it. If you all can remind me.
Yeah, I got you. So
I'm like,
about more than one advisor, you can have more than one advisor for the club, but only the full-time president, only the full-time permanent advisor may sign off on finances.
right.
So that is the ultimate golden rule. It's already laid out in the club packet, so we didn't need to rewrite that. Now, the change for this semester is that if your club has changed advisors since spring 2020, a new contract needs to be filled out, signed, and turned into the Center for Student Life via email. Now, we have the advisor forms ready to go as fillable PDFs. We're going to give you the links before you leave today, but they're going to be made available. They're already live on the website. But yeah, that's pretty much all we had for advisor. Alvin or Marcy, are we good for this one?
Yeah, so one advisor, if you want to have, I don't know if two presidents or whatever are allowed, but again, I finance wise, I will deal with the one person that's on the page that I get for my file. And I do need these files before you can have any inquiries with me.
Great. Yeah, for when she mentioned president, if you have another president, it's called the vice president.
Yeah. So because sometimes sometimes they want two treasurers. So
Right.
only the advisor, the president, and the treasurer can ask me any questions about their account.
Got it. Okay. Which brings us to the trust account form. If
Yep.
any finances will be touched this semester, such as check issuing, refunds for advisor, etc., a new trust account form must be filled out, signed, and turned into us by email. There are, however, restrictions this semester about how clubs may spend their funds while we're not on campus. These are not imposed by the Center for Student Life per se. These are imposed by the district and by our college, in which Center for Student Life is following these rules. And so it's not us who decided these policies. I just want it to be clear. It's us who are following these policies, and we believe all students should abide by that, as well as the clubs. Is there any comments that you had, Marcy or Alvin, about trust account form?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, then Alvin and Marcy could just chime in if yeah, so I don't have to keep asking. All right, so let's get right into the important changes for SOCC for fall 2020. SOCC donations through the ASSC. So this is wrong. We made this slide. We made the slide when we weren't sure what was going on with SOCC. So we will have SOCC meetings, but we have yet to discuss that, and we'll discuss that towards the end with you folks. But what we want is for SOCC requests to be made at the ASSC weekly meetings, which are held every Tuesday from 4 to 6. Now, this is to give y'all more of a chance to ask for funding, because if we didn't allow that, if we just did SOCC normal, but SOCC was only, say, meeting once a month, then you have less windows and time to ask for funding. Whereas with the ASSC meetings, you can come to the AS, ask them for SOCC funding. This happens every single week on Tuesdays on Zoom, and we always have quorum. Some of you are asking, what is quorum? Quorum is the fact that in order for organizations like SOCC or ASC to vote, you always need half of the organization there plus one. So again, since SOCC has 53 clubs who are members, you would need 27 folks there in order to have any voting happen, in which case 27 folks would need to be there for any voting and for funding to happen, which can be problematic if not all the clubs are showing up. So for ASSC, at least you'll have a chance to meet quorum and to have chances to ask for money each week is a chance, basically. Now, the club packet outlines how much you can ask per semester. It's $500 per semester per club. However, that does not mean that SOCC or the AS will vote yes upon hearing your request and knowing what the restrictions are, which are coming up. And I just mentioned that. So stupid. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so this is a slide that I was just mentioning. Again, implementing the change about funding requests has to do with quorum. We need two-thirds votes for yes, even then. And again, we just want more of a chance for y'all to have freedom to access funding rather than take it away because there are less SOCC meetings this semester. So this is our solution. So sorry, I should have just read that slide. Now, what clubs cannot do since campus is closed? There are restrictions on what clubs cannot do when it comes to programming this semester. There will be no student travel to conferences allowed or approved. Also, there will be no in-person student fundraisers, as we're not allowed to meet in person. And then the last one is student life will not be able, or student life is unable to help cover upfront costs or expenses for clubs. Marcy or Alvin, anything? You're good?
No, that's good. Thanks.
That's good.
All right. What clubs can do for programming? This is the good part. Clubs can collaborate with our ASC to create intentional programs for specific holidays, heritage months, or days dedicated to a cause. We invite you to contact the ASC officers for this. And then in addition, clubs may work independently to explore the options of online programming. So I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up, Alvin is the guru for online programming. Alvin does not have an open calendar in which you can just meet up with him anytime. I'd have to schedule that for you. But he's definitely the person to speak to about online programming. I'd say I'm pretty knowledgeable about it because I work under him, but he really has like a lot of innovative ideas. So if you're thinking about doing some kind of programming or holding an event, he's definitely the person to speak with. Our
And
AS
I'm gonna plug Ryan. Can I plug real quick?
Sure.
Sorry. Thank you.
No problem.
And just to echo what Ryan said, yes, maybe I'm not a guru, but I have a better understanding of what virtual programming looks like. I think, Ryan, maybe if you could correct me, I think we've done over like 25 or 30 so far. Yeah, since like
That's correct.
June.
Yeah, we got 15 more.
Yeah, so we got 15 more. We are on a roll in terms of programming. If you are somebody that wants to see something done with your club, I am the person. We are the folks that could make that happen. So please reach out. We are not here to take up this whole virtual space. We're here to share it. So if there's something that you want to see, there's something that you're passionate about that will help your club and to move our institution and our community forward, holla at you.
Thank you very much. Perfect. And then, of course, remaining solid until campus reopens. Don't worry. Like I said, all these restrictions are temporary and only in place during the fall 2020 semester. When the campus fully reopens, SOCC will resume to business as usual. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our presentation.
Introduction of Brown guys.
All right, that is me again. One moment, folks. So, like I said, Alvin and I did this. Alvin and I basically worked together to make sure that clubs are clustered into these 5 groupings in which they are related somehow. And we're not saying that if you're in one group, or a barangay, you're not allowed to work with another. That's absolutely not what we're saying. We're just saying that we wanted more accountability from our student government to handle and answer to our clubs and their needs. And so we've assigned certain barangays to certain officers based on their majors and their interest overall in life, so that these officers are passionate and able to help you. So I want to introduce the first one, STEM clubs. There are 12 clubs as part of STEM, and they all have something that are in common, and they're led by Elaine Arroyo and also our senators Max, Allen, and Chris. The next one is honor societies. These are your 4 honor societies in which there's membership, and they're related to 4-year university honor societies. This is led by Sarah, Yiya, and Anthony. We have program related. These are clubs that are related to any of the programs, the wonderful programs on campus, such as automotive, ceramics, Cosmo, international students, journalism, etc. This is led by Thomas. We got to change that. It says Lester. He's no longer in the AS, but he's backed by Thailand. And then we have our big one, but some of these clubs are inactive for the time being. But this is your cultural faith and equity based. So we have things like BAM, or Myanmar Cultural Club, or Polynesian, or Saga. And this is led by Jose, who's assisted by Jazero and Rolo. And then we have the last one, which is the performance and arts appreciation. So things like poetry, dance, classical music, etc. And then this is led by Fan Yu, Ricardo, Shirley, and Min. Now, if you see your name in blue, that means that we haven't received paperwork from you in quite a while, so you might want to talk to us. But I just felt that this was the most equitable way for us to move forward. I always say this, but you know, folks on campus are always talking about equity, equity, equity. Such a popular word. But for our office, we're really about, are we actually changing policies though so that they are equitable for students? Are we making change so that our students are feeling those equitable changes? One of the things that happens is oftentimes the AS will ask clubs to collaborate with them. And we felt that some clubs are just super homegrown, like they're just grown out of a couple friends who have a common interest and they want to get together and find like-minded students. Let's just say Japanese Culture Link. They may not all be Japanese American students. They may be students who just love the Japanese language and culture, and so they get along and they made a club. Well, there may only be 8 or 9 students in there, as opposed to Middle College Club, who's linked to the program Middle College, and so their club has 50 or 60 students by default. And it's just not as equitable to ask both clubs to put on performances or do events when you have one club that's 9 people and the other club that's 60. And on the other hand, you know, what about connecting with AS? Let's reverse the scenario. What if Japanese Culture Link really wants to speak to the vice president about their concern? All 9 of them can meet with the vice president, speak their concern for an hour, and get answers. How could Middle College be addressed the same way? There's 60 students. They don't all think the same thing. They may come to a consensus, but they may not all feel heard because it's such a large club. So these are things we took into account when moving forward with the leadership in our office under Alvin Gubatina, and making sure that these barangays were really affiliated with each other in a way that made sense, and they were intentional as well. And I hope that made sense. I do want to stop there, and I do want to open the floor to questions at this time.
We have questions from the Slido that Jazz will.
Okay, sure. And then my colleagues and I will do our best to answer as much as we can, okay? So
Yes.
go for it, Jazz.
Where do you find the forms?
Okay, so that was coming into our Padlet. Yeah, we're gonna unveil the Padlet soon with the link, and then all the forms are on there. They're also on the website as well. Mm-hmm.
Are Skyline Middle College students allowed to join clubs at Skyline College?
Yes, they absolutely are. Middle College Club itself, we have a very good understanding with Martina Center, which is that because middle college students don't pay the fee, the student body fee, they're not going to be asking, as a club, they're not going to be asking for funding, but they would be fundraising on their own. But middle college students, as their own students, are absolutely allowed to be part of clubs. Yes.
And if the advisor is the same from last year, do we still need to fill out the form?
That's a good question. I'll let Marcy answer that one because it's much more up to what she prefers should be done for that.
Yeah, and my answer in short is yes. So, especially if the student, am I on? Yeah, especially if, say, for instance, Phi Theta Kappa. Phi Theta Kappa has had the same advisor for as long as I can remember. However, the students change, the president changes, the treasurer changes. So I've already had some inquiries from students that email me, and I have no idea who they are, and I have the binder here at home from spring, and they're not on the spring list either. So I think it's probably best to just you have an advisor, a new advisor, you have a new president, a new treasurer. I'd need a new form, and that's those are requirements of me by the auditors. So just keep in mind that before any inquiries happen, I need this form in place and approved by Alvin before it gets to me. That answer that?
I think so.
That is all the questions.
Moving on to
Oh wait, Jose,
Oh.
we have the Padlet. Sorry.
the
There's
Padlet. Oh,
yeah.
my
Okay.
bad.
So I'm gonna go ahead and type it into the box. Go ahead and click on that link and follow along if you'd like, but I'll be share screening so that you folks can see it. So this is our SOCC Padlet that is brand new, and it was created as a space just for SOCC because let's face it, while we have this very nice website on Skyline College, it's very general and it's not really a place that we can mess around with and change very often, as everything needs to look uniform. We understand that Padlet is a little more student friendly, and so first off, you can access the Google Slides I showed at the very top. You have the flyer from today's meeting. This explains about the club handbook and what's different. So you can download it by clicking on this link here. Just simply clicking it, it'll help you download it. The club roster form, the advisor contract, the trust account form, and all the other forms are found here on this link. Now, I want y'all to look through this when we're offline and find your club. For example, I belong to PTK, and I want y'all to check this and see if that's still the email, that's your contact email, what time y'all meet, and of course, this is irrelevant, the location. It was just copied off the website. This list is currently what the website shows as our club roster. So if there's a change to be made, for example, PTK, you would go ahead and enter it here. So how you do that is just click edit, and then you'd say, you just enter it right here at the bottom so we can make the change for you. PTK, we meet every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Zoom ID is 818-471-5566. Contact email is no longer the one listed. It's samr@smccd.edu, etc. Okay? So please put the changes in this last box. Don't edit this box. Don't edit the old box because we won't see it. Edit and make your changes in the second box. Okay?
Ryan, can you scroll up, please?
Sure. Where would you like me to stop?
I'm trying to look at the trust account form. president, treasurer. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is just the one on the website.
Yeah, I was looking for the one that has Alvin's signature.
Alvin's signature. Well, okay, let's look at it. So if you open it, this is what it looks like, and it
Oh, there
lets
it
you
goes.
download it or print it.
That
Yeah.
the
It's just
magical
helpful.
box at the bottom.
Yes. All right. Now, if there are any questions, please enter them in the Slido, and then Jazz will be asking them, answering them or reading them out loud so we can answer them. Sorry. Jazz, are there any new questions?
No.
Okay. All right, Jose, you may move on.
Got it. Where's the oh, there you go. Perspective Club presentation, Impact Investment Club.
Can I share my screen? Hi everyone, my name is Aaron.
Let me give you, there you go.
Oh.
You should be able to now.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Aaron. Today I'm going to talk about a new club that we want to create. Thank you guys for having me. So these are the topic that I'm going to talk about in this induction. So the first one is the name of the club is going to be Impact Investment Club. And the main purpose of our club is that we think on college level, many students are facing the problem with the tuition fee and living expenses. So we want to build a platform for students to communicate about how to use the money properly, how to manage and save their money, or how to spend their money on the most valuable things, stuff like that. So let me give a quick example. So by using credit card properly, students can save a lot of money, such as using cashback credit cards or transfer balance to reduce interest. And we do provide a lot of ways to solve money by using credit cards. So let me show you one of my members to the website for our club. 1 second. So this is the website that we made for our club. We are still adding, there's many research or things that we add for students, and we are still adding more on this website. To be honest, it's really hard to make a website, but we think in order to make the club more beneficial for students, we will work out together to do much better. So I'm go ahead and share the link of this website on the chat. So if you guys are interested in it, please take a look. So this is the link. So the last things I want to talk about is our advisor. So we work closely with the Professor Suzuki, who is also an advisor. We take advice about saving and spending money properly from our professional advisor. So I believe with the advice and suggestion from the econ professor, the student will have a much more clear sight on money management. So I think this is our advantage, and I think our club is really unique, because in my opinion, I think there's not a club at Skyline similar to this. So these are the things that we believe that creating this club is helpful to the student and the school. Thank you so much. Feel free to ask questions.
So can I ask, so basically, are you saying that your club is more of a reference for students to go to?
It's kind of reference, but we also want a student to join us to talk about what are they experience about how to manage to do the money management. Yeah.
And I see you have your website as E-SSB.
Oh, sorry, that is the wrong one. The new one my member sent it again.
Oh, okay.
So then my question for impact investment is, how is this financial coaching any different than SparkPoint or EOPS? Because they both offer, SparkPoint offers free financial coaching to students. They even give students $100 or $200 incentive to open a savings account. They give credit card advice. They teach students how to do their taxes. They teach students how to build their credit score. EOPS does financial coaching with one-on-one counselors. They do workshops. And so I'm wondering how all the activity that you folks are doing is, you say that's not found on campus, but that's not necessarily true. So I'm just curious how and what is very different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the club that you mentioned is kind of like giving workshop for students, but right here we are like have the opportunity to share, like feel free to talk anything. If you have like a best, if you think you have a really good experience on because management, you can feel free to share with us. But in the workshop, we kind of like receiving more information, but we cannot like giving information, like sharing information. That's what I think.
Okay, so let me understand you. So you can give, you're saying you can give certain information that those cannot, because the EOPS is a program. It's linked to the state. And then SparkPoint is also a program. Both are not clubs. They're both faculty and staff led. And so I'm wondering how their services are going to be that much different than what Impact Investment Club is saying they can do.
Yeah, I think they have their advantage. I think in the future we may want to cooperate with them to let more students to get involved to the community. And yeah. Also, because my personally is an international student, we cannot join the program specifically for the domestic student. So yeah, that's pretty much what we want to create this club. We all welcome whether international student or domestic student to join our club.
Okay. Did any clubs have any other questions? I'm still a little, I gotta be honest, I'm still a little confused as to what the club actually does, other than just talk about money. Like for example, Lasso does a lot of Latinx heritage building activities. They put on a lot of events that have to do with Latinx heritage. They have conferences for Latino, Latina, and Latinx students. They go to conferences together. So that's very like clearly defined. I'm just trying to get out of you like what exactly is impact investment? Like if I join, other than sitting and listening to you tell me about tips on how to financially be better by myself as a person, I'm just wondering like what else other than the tips and sitting and listening to y'all is the club gonna actually, like what is the function, if that makes sense? Marcy, am I making sense here?
I understand what you mean because I have the same question.
Okay.
And I'm also trying to clarify that, okay, perhaps EOPS and some of our student service per se programs are not accessible to some of our international students or out of state students. But SparkPoint, however, is.
Right, because
wrong?
you can be undocumented and still
Correct.
get.
Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, they've made it equitable so that students who are not domestic or have paperwork can get like financial coaching. Right, exactly.
And we did have, Ryan, also we did have a similar club in years past. I don't know if you remember. And I don't know what happened to them. They were active, I think maybe a half a year or a year.
Okay.
And then that was it. But they didn't do any activities. They didn't, nothing. So
okay.
I'm just curious, like you, what basically, what will we gain?
Yeah, so I'm sorry about that.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay. No, I was just gonna add like, and please, don't take it that we're trying to make it out to be that we don't understand the club at all and that it has no potential. We're just the advisors. We don't even get to vote. It's just the students. But I
And
want
we're just asking questions.
right. I want the students to get this because they may be too shy or something right now. Jazz, please check the Slido in case there's questions. But I need the students to be sure on what they're voting, because if they're not hearing like very clearly, like let's just take, like, I'm just looking at my screen, Bianca or Erica, if they wanted to join, I'm sure they're thinking to themselves like, what would be in it for me if I join, right? Okay, Thomas has a question. Go for it, Thomas.
Hey, how's it going? So I'm parliamentarian for the ASSC, but my question to you also is, if you're giving financial advice to students and it turns out not being the best advice for that student, like, you know, telling someone to go get credit cards, maybe they mismanaged the credit card, they would have never gotten the credit card. Like, how does that work, you know?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, we cooperate with the economic professor. Everything that we want to ask, we want to share to the student, we will ask them first to take his take his suggestion. If he think that is okay or not that good, we won't share to the student. Yeah.
And who is
And
the advisor also?
Masao Suzuki.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I also want to answer Ryan's question. So I'm thinking, besides sharing about the experience, we want in the future we may also want to do some project together about whether investment project or business project. We collect the information together and we can share, yeah, to do some project together.
Well, that'd be great, but I think student government won't do any projects with y'all financially unless they can follow their bylaws. And I'm not really sure. Like, I hear you. I think it sounds awesome that we have students who are very knowledgeable and the economics professor as well. But I'm just curious, like, the source of that advice. And I think what Thomas is asking about is accountability. If y'all gave the wrong advice financially to a student who didn't have, maybe they didn't disclose the whole picture, or maybe they just, I don't know, maybe they just weren't able to explain everything correctly, then that's kind of also what I think he was getting at. But Timothy has a question, so go for it, Tim. Tim, you can unmute yourself and ask a question if you wish.
Sorry about that.
No,
yeah.
no worries, no worries.
Yeah, my question dovetails a little bit off what Thomas said too, and what I was thinking. It almost sounds like the club is kind of oriented towards finding credit cards that are good deals for students, but I mean, it might not always necessarily be the case that that's always good for the students. Like, so I'm one kind of concerned. Is there is there some sort of company that's advocating you sign students up for this? I don't want to be too accusatory, but that's just one thing that I thought of. And the other thing is, is this actually more of a, like, would you characterize your club as being more of how to do financial planning or advice about how to do financial planning more generally? Because what I saw on your website looked like credit cards, but it could be. I think there might be more potential as sort of, well, as Ryan pointed out, you know, like SparkPoint and these other things that can give that same sort of advice, but with the Impact Club could potentially be this like more collaborative effort about financial planning. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you mentioned the credit card because I think our club is not only doing the credit card project. We're just like giving the example. This is one of the information that we're providing, and we think that we're still going to add more information, whether it's going to be from the life perspective or something like that, to the website to make the club more informative.
Also, regarding the credit card, I think it was Tim. I don't know if our campus, Ryan, you might want to refresh my memory. We used to have like Bank of America. Basically, any bank was able to come onto campus and have a table in our quad to try and get the students to open their checking account, you know, San Mateo Credit Union, whatever it was. I think probably with that was also the credit card, but I don't think that they are allowed to solely come onto campus and push a credit card.
So we do have, no, that's a good point, but we do have banks that come to campus,
Yes.
and sit in the quad and try to promote their services, which is totally fine. But actually, I actually had a question. Liza, are you here?
I see her there.
Yeah.
I am. What's up?
Hi, Professor. So,
Hello.
folks, this is Liza Urpello, English professor and also the director for the Kawabayan program. She's an advisor for FSU. So, Liza, I'm just kind of curious, what you're hearing, what are your just general opinions. Sometimes we'll ask advisors if they're there what they believe.
Sure, sure.
You know, what are their opinions and what they think students should think about, you know?
Well, it's kind of the same thing. Like as I was sitting here listening, I still have not heard the answer, like what exactly the club has to offer. Because I know how it is. You have a roster to maintain. You have a lot of students that you have to keep track of. So I guess I mean, and I was actually just talking with my FSU students. It's like we're talking about like what would be our mission statement. Like I would be curious like what the mission statement of this club would be, and what benefits would students get from it. And that just from hearing the conversation, it just wasn't clear cut to me. And so that's where my biggest question would be.
Thank you, Liza.
Yeah, thank you for pointing out the question. I think the purpose of creating this club, because I'm an international student and I came here alone and I suffer a lot. And I think creating this club will be a really good platform for the student who are fresh off the boat like me, like I was, and we can provide information like, because as long as I came to America, I don't know how to open an account on the Wells Fargo. So I have that experience and I can tell the student, okay, maybe you can try this. So they will have a like more clear site on how to do that. So that is what the intention of creating this club. Yeah.
Thomas, you have a question or a recommendation? Excuse me.
Yeah, so I think like the idea behind it is awesome, right? Like getting students together to talk about finances, but I think like giving the financial advice and that kind of stuff should be left to Spark Point. But
Yeah,
like definitely getting students together and talking about it and being a group where you guys can collaborate and make it more about yourself rather than helping, like instead of helping other students that may not be in the club already, like worry about, you know, giving each other information within the club. And I think like that might be a little bit more appealing.
Yeah, I also think about because I mentioned we want to work with other Spark Point or some organization like that. We want to provide the opportunity for students. Yeah. Thanks for your recommendation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I have a question from Slido. How do you plan to make programming for the club?
Excuse me, can you repeat it?
How do you plan to make the programming for the club? Like, what type of programs would you have?
You mean how do we host the meeting?
I actually did not ask this question, so if someone can elaborate what you meant.
Like, how would you develop events for students?
Oh, maybe right now in this situation, we may just hold a Zoom meeting and we can do some research project. We like everything right now is really convenience. We can share the document to do some project together. Yeah.
Alan, you have a suggestion?
Yeah. And just because I heard you talking about the purpose of the club, and just maybe one quick thing to think about
Can you
is
speak up, please?
oh yes, maybe one thing to think about is just when you're writing the mission, just to kind of really be careful in regards to the words that you're using in regards to are you giving financial advice versus are you creating a space for financial explanations of just different circumstances? Because I definitely understand when you're saying folks are coming into this country and kind of it's hard to navigate too. So maybe that might be a different framework to think about, is that not necessarily giving advice but kind of a space to dialogue over financial kind of just explanations.
Yeah, thank you. Because I'm actually not a native speaker, so my English is not very good. Sometimes the some words usage is kind of different in my language, so maybe that's confusing. Sorry about that. Thank you for your advice.
Okay, well, if there's no other questions, then Jose, thank you very much.
I think there are
Oh, are there other
Steven?
questions?
in the chat.
Thank Ezra.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I have a quick question. So for the Impact Investing Club, are you basically suggesting that it's going to be a club specifically there to support and help international students?
No. It's also for domestic student. For every student, we are welcome. Not for international student. Not only for international student. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I have another question from Slido. Per se, you gave the wrong advice to a student. How will you take responsibility for that?
I'm not sure about it because advice, everybody can be wrong. But we try to use our own experience, like the open account that I mentioned before. That is my experience, and I did open account. So maybe this experience will help you to open account by yourself. Like, yeah, it might be different place to place, but there's a successful example that I did. So maybe, yeah, take that advice. You can take that advice. You can, yeah.
I got a quick question, just a quick one. If somebody were to come into the club and had like a unique case where something went wrong or something, came in for an advice, how would you be able to tackle that?
Oh, so if the unique case that we cannot figure out, we will reach out to the professional organization like a Spark Point or other on campus. We will help them to solve the problem. Yeah, we are not gonna tell them what to do, because if we are not sure the answer, we are not gonna telling them. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Any more questions?
Well, thank you so much for presenting today, and we will move on to voting very shortly. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, vote on club inductions, vote on Impact Investment Club.
So how this works, folks, and I'm informing you so that you may understand how the voting will work. The advisors will not vote. Neither will our friend Alan from the Intercultural Center, as he's staff. Neither will Professor Urpello, because she's faculty. But all the other students will need to unmute themselves when they're called on. Jazro will be calling on you and your club. Basically, she'll call out for your club based on the attendance sheet that she marked. And she will call out your name. You will either vote yay, nay, or abstain. I'll type that in the chat, okay? Yay is yes. That means that you would like for Investment Club to be added to SOCC and that you completely understand what they're trying to do. You want them part of SOCC, they should be a club. Nay means no. That means that you just do not want them to be part of SOCC. Not a good idea. Abstain means you do not have any opinion and you don't have enough information per se, and let's see. I have a question from Ricardo about senators. Ricardo, you're representing photography club, so yes. So again, they need 2/3 of the vote for yay in order to be a club. So Jazaro, you will call them out and then you will tally up the yays, the nays, and the abstains. Okay. All right. Thank you. So again, if she calls you, unmute yourself, please, and please tell us what you vote.
Bear with me, guys. Okay. Alpha, Gamma, Sigma. What?
Abstain.
Astronomy Club. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. PTK.
Abstain.
Chinese Student Scholar Association.
Yep.
Okay. Environmental Club.
Yeah.
Filipino Student Union.
Yay.
Honors Club.
Yay.
International Student Club.
Yay.
Okay. Kappa Beta Delta. KBT.
Abstain. Sorry. Abstain.
Thank you. Model UN. Model UN.
Hello.
Model UN. Should I just put abstain on that one?
Are they here?
You wouldn't count it towards the full amount, so they just there's a pass on their end then.
Okay. Skyline SBA.
Yay.
Okay. Trio.
Abstain.
Okay. Give me a moment to tally it up.
Are there any clubs that are present that did not get called to vote?
Respiratory Care Club.
Okay, please count their vote.
Oops. Sorry. Okay. What is your vote?
Yay.
Okay.
And Photography Club.
My bad. I'm so sorry. What is your vote?
Abstain.
Okay. Is that all the clubs that I missed?
Journalism Club.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay, what is your vote?
Yay.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I'll tell you. Okay. If I counted correctly, the abstain is 5, the yeas are 10, and there were no nays. Ryan, can you please assist me on this one?
Okay, so she counted 5 yays, sorry, 10 yays, 5 abstains, and then 0 nays. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there multiple people in our meeting? I'm just making sure everyone who was supposed to vote voted. I guess there's multiple.
I'm a second for trios, so this is like there's 2 trios in here.
Got it. Okay, understood. Okay. Then I suppose out of that number, that congratulations impact investment club is added to the list of SOCC clubs.
Thank you so much, everyone.
I would advise to you, please, that you definitely, this is just for your own safety, is that you would definitely find a way that when you're held accountable for giving advice, if you give the wrong advice, that you're sure what your plan of action is regarding how you're going to remedy any sort of trouble that may bring. That's all I say. I envision only good advice coming from the club, but I can imagine that, you know, out of 10 people, one of them's going to get the wrong advice and then come back and blame you. So just be very cautious and try to work with your club on policies that would protect the club members and the advisor, because this could be, it could be very successful, but it could also be disastrous.
Thank you so much. I will take the advice. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Moving on to programming, ASCC programming for November and December.
Yes, we have quite a few events that we're going to be rolling out to you folks through ASSC. The first one is happening this Friday, and I'll make sure to drop the flyer in the chat box so that y'all could see it. But it's the United Nations Day, which is held by Model United Nations Club and the ASSC. There's going to be cultural presentations from both the countries of China and French Polynesia. And then they're going to be watching a debate and hearing remarks from United Nations Club. So again, that's happening this Friday at 12 o'clock. So that's one of them. I'll put the flyer in. And then the other one coming up is our LGBTQ History Month events. And we have 2 of them presented by Cora and ASSC. And this one is happening, one of them is happening tomorrow, and it's a workshop about identity in the LGBTQ world and community, and it is the different gender identities and different sexualities, and just healthy holistic wellness for yourself. And this is happening again tomorrow from 1 to 2:30, and then again next week we have a healthy relationships workshop. And so all the registration links and all the information will be on the flyer. I'll drop both of those in the chat box when I'm done speaking. And then the last one that we have is, we don't have a flyer for every single event yet, but this one is coming up on November 4th. We have our Tonga Day celebration. Tonga Day is an actual holiday celebrating the Kingdom of Tonga. I don't know if y'all knew, but all your Polynesian classmates at Skyline College are either from the island of Samoa or the island of Tonga, and more than half of them are Tongan. So we are actually celebrating this with our program coordinators and our students at CSM under the MANA program. So we're very happy to have this. And again, I'll drop flyers into the box. Thank you.
And then we go to club programming, roundtable update.
So roundtable update, I will do one thing. Each club, Jazz will call the clubs again. When it's your turn, you can either share with us what you're up to for this semester, You can tell us a little about how you plan to have programming this semester or next. And then, or you can simply use your time to ask a question of any club or the advisors. So if you could start with the first club, that'd be great. When you're called on, please share an update.
Okay. Give me a moment. Okay. PTK.
Yes, we're currently holding bi-weekly meetings, and we're planning to do events that are similar to like game nights or just to get members involved in a virtual environment. So that's kind of what we're up to now.
The Chinese Student Scholar Association.
Hi, we don't have any activity planned for this semester, but we want to have more activities for next semesters. And I also have a question to Marcy. Hello?
Yes. Sorry, I'm here.
Yeah, actually, we hold a activity like in the spring this year.
Yes.
And I only got one check of the font, and I think there are two more, but like I kind of contact you like.
I'm sorry, one check what?
The money, because we spend money on the activities.
Yeah.
On the activity.
So
yes.
you have one.
And as we are going to change a president, and the information and all those contact information and address, we're going to change to other person. So I don't know, like for the other two checks.
So I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand. What was the first check for?
Like I submitted, I think is 3 pages of like to requiring a font.
You cut out.
And like I only received one check, and I think there are 2 checks left. Like I need to receive, because like we spend money first on our activity, and I submit for get a refund.
Oh, so this is regarding reimbursement?
Yeah, I don't really know that. Sorry.
Okay, so why don't you put in your chat your email, and can you just, I mean, in the chat, yeah, your email, please, and then I'll send you a message and see what I have listed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's all my questions.
Environmental Club.
Yeah, we hold our meeting bi-weekly, and because of this pandemic, we cannot do many outdoor activities or outside activities, and we just in our meeting we just watch some short films or videos, or share some suggestions about the protection of our environment with our advisor and our president. Yeah.
Filipino Student Union.
Okay, yeah, so for us, our launch date for FSU was the 16th, and currently we are hosting weekly meetings every Monday from 3 to 4, and we are also emceeing an event that will be marking the end of Filipino American History Month on the 29th, and also we're planning a game night hosted by FSU for people to come and join and learn more about our club.
Honors Club.
Currently, right now, we're holding bi-weekly meetings every Tuesday at 12. And one of the events that we're planning to have this semester is the Honors Transfer Panel, where we bring alumni that have transferred to Fourier University back, and talk about their journey, and what they've done and how they got themselves to where they are. Most likely, we're going to have that via Zoom. And during the meetings, we used to talk about, deadlines to keep up with, like CSU application deadlines, UC application deadlines, scholarship opportunities, and opportunities that other UCs are offering.
What club was that one? I'm sorry.
The Honors Club.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
International Student Club.
What club?
International Student Club.
International.
Oh. Hi, I'm Jackie. So the International Student Club has been hosting weekly events. So we do game nights, we do art nights. For example, we do such as Pictionary bingo every Thursday, 2 to 3, just to catch up with the rest of the international students. Also, for this semester, we're virtually hosting the International Educational Week, which is going to be on November. We haven't created yet the flyer, but we're going to, and we're going to share it with you all. And what we're planning for this event is create short videos of our favorite food recipes from around the world and show it to all of you who's going to attend the Zoom meeting. So yeah, that's it.
Journalism Club.
Hello, it's Enrique. So we're currently planning from moving. We're currently planning to move from moving our meetings from Mondays to Wednesdays. Around, but we have yet to decide the meeting time. There's that. We're possibly planning of making a debate watch party, and we're also thinking about doing a movie screening at some point.
Kappa Beta Delta.
KBD.
hello. Hi, yeah, sorry, my mic was muted. So Kappa Beta Delta, we currently hold bi-weekly meetings, and I think we're doing, I guess, pretty good in this virtual setting. We actually have an email newsletter that we use to maintain communication with our members, and I do know we did promote some of ASSC's events, and for Phi Theta Kappa as well. In terms of programming, I know we have scholarship workshops coming up in this semester and next semester. And we're also going to host a virtual food drive, I think, starting next month. So we're doing good.
Model UN. I don't think they're here anymore. Respiratory Care Club.
Yeah, hi. I'm Anastasia. I'm from the Respiratory Care Club. So our current meeting dates and days are to be determined as to how our cabinet is all, we all have to do clinical rotations as part of our education in the, it's tentative as to when our next meeting date and time will be, but if anyone has any questions, we do have an updated club email, which I will post in the chat. It's skylinercpclub@gmail.com, and I've also updated the Padlet document as well. We are still in the process of figuring out our events for the year, given as to we are presented with a unique situation of distance learning. But as soon as any updates are available, we will keep everybody posted. As always, just email us and let us know if there's any questions. Our profession is very kind of in the news right now because of the current pandemic. So it's a very busy time right now for us as we're finishing up and graduating in June. But yeah, so we're doing okay. And if there's any questions, let me know and I'll post the email and the link or the chat. Thanks.
Photography Club. I'm sorry I missed you earlier.
No problem. As of right now, meeting times are to be determined, and we don't have any events planned out or scheduled right now.
Skyline SVA.
Hey, how's it going, guys and ladies? So we are kind of running as a skeleton crew right now. We keep in contact with each other, like via text message, stuff like that, emails. But as meeting goes, TBA too during COVID. That's pretty much it. We will have a Veterans Day event coming up soon, and for that, we're just going to be putting together like some videos and some speeches from our faculty and staff and students. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
And Trio Club.
Hi everyone, my name is Bianca. We're actually going to take it back to high school days and we're going to have Spirit Week. So it's going to happen on November 2nd to November 6th. And you send it to Stokes or Jackie. So Monday we'll have Pajama Day, Tuesday will be Disney Day, Wednesday will be Sports Day, Thursday will be Superhero Day, and Friday will be College Shirt Day. And once you upload your picture and send it to either Jackie or Stokes, we'll put it on Discord. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. How about, did I miss any clubs? If not, that is all.
This is Tim from Alpha Gamma Sigma. So I just wanted to give an update. We are still meeting bi-weekly. Our meeting days have changed to Fridays, 11:30 a.m. And we haven't really done any events planned just because of the shelter-in-place stuff. But there is the fall conference is being held virtually on Zoom and is free of charge. So if there are any other AGS members here, so we'll let you know about that. We're going to be sending those flyers out. That's going to be this Saturday. And if anybody's interested, they can email me. I'll put my email address in the chat. Thanks.
And with that, we're going to vote on funding requests. We got none. Proposal on future agendas. Contact Alvin, Brian, and Marcy. And now I adjourn this meeting at 3:32 p.m.
Thank you.
Folks, if you're putting your email in the box, we're not going to be able to do anything with that. You need to put it onto the Padlet. So I'll drop the Padlet in there again, but yeah, you need to fix the club email so that we could get a hold of you. You need to put it in the Padlet for us, not on the chat. I'll be putting that in the chat box right now. And we'll hang out for about 5 minutes in case anyone needed any of the info.
Ryan, can you put my email in there, please?
Yes. It's